Hello everyone, this is Chrisa Assis of Bautanz Constructing Dance. So it has been a week that I'm off practice, being on vacation. Today I thought it would be great if we just combined the work that we did with ochos, which was our last video together, and then the work that we did with heels. So we will see how you can prepare and practice to get your legs stronger and your understanding of the posture better. So when you get on your heels, you will be able to feel a little bit more comfortable. You'll be able to adjust a little bit faster, and at the same time, you'll be able to keep doing your ochos without falling off balance, losing your alignment and feeling a little bit tensed. So not that it's ocho specific, it might happen at any other time, unfortunately, but I think that ochos really bring out that problem. So we'll take advantage of that and work on that on our heels. First though, a few exercises just to get our legs ready. So here we go. One of the common mistakes that dancers have when they get on heels, or even like ballet dancers who raise their heels off the floor, is that we manage our weight in the wrong way. Either we fall too far forward or we fall too far back. And remember, we were talking about this in our video regarding heels and how you need to adjust your position so you don't hurt your lower back. So we are going to see those two extremes and how you'll manage not to fall into any of those traps through a very simple exercise, which is heel raises. So let's try this together. I think you can see. So. Notice here how I am not going forward and back, but I'm only going up and down. So, wrong version. See how this immediately took my weight too far forward? You could actually feel that. You can actually see that if I had my partner there, I would be throwing a lot of weight on him. So avoid going forward and back. Like this. Or exactly the opposite. Like this. So this is another very common problem. Moving the hips too far forward and too far back, trying to adjust the weight when we wear our heels. So you need to be quite careful with that, not only because it feels uncomfortable and you can't dance, but also because you can get actually hurt. So, and you're feeling that your hips are going to be a little bit tight, your legs are going to be working a lot, so you want to avoid this. Too much push. So instead, what we are going to do is find our tango posture, and like I did in the beginning of this video, just feel that you're going up and down, not too much forward and back. Remember that in your tango posture, you should be over the ball of the foot, not over your toes. And that doesn't change when you wear heels. So let's go. So, to take this a little bit further, you go up and then you shift over, lift one foot off the floor, take your hands off your artificial partner, try to see if your balance is okay, then go back on 2 feet, raise those heels, take a moment if you need to, then shift over. You will notice that as you shift your weight over 1 foot and then back on 2 feet, there is a change in alignment in your body. You need to tap into that. You need to notice that, because that will, if you make use of it, if you make use of that automatic response that your body has for balance, then you will be able to feel a lot more comfortable while on the heels. So, heel raises on 2 feet, hold your position, change over to 1 foot, change over to the other, and hold each time for as long as you can. And then step right into it. So from flat in your tango posture, step up to your toes, like this. Is this you? Right. Lastly, we add one extra level just to get us ready for the ochos. So you will go on 1 foot, find your balance, and then rotate the upper body relative to the lower body. Hold your balance a little bit, then go back to point 0 and start again over on the other side. So here we go. So do this a couple of times. Notice what adjustments you need to make. Notice what is the right position, the position that gives you an alignment that is strong enough at bone structure level, so the muscles do not feel that they're doing all the work. So we're not aiming for a strained holding position, but we're aiming for the proper alignment for this to become as comfortable as possible. Yes? As comfortable as possible. So that is our goal. So if you need to do it holding on to something, that's great. You can do it the same way I did, only just a little bit, start a little bit closer to your artificial partner, meaning the wall or a table or something like that. So then when you step up, then you can actually hold and do your rotation. That's also an option. You can start from there and then build it up as you go. So give yourself a little bit of time and repeat as many times as you need to. And we're gonna and then you can either do this one day and then add your heels the next day, or do them together like I'm doing it here. So put your heels on if you're ready, and let's go for some forward and back ochos. So there are two major mistakes that we make when dancing in heels and doing ochos. So one has to do with the ochos themselves. Actually, it has nothing to do with heels. It's just that heels make it worse. It is actually the movement of the spine in order to create that rotation of the upper body relative to the lower body. So most of the times, especially because we feel a little bit uncomfortable, either we pull too much, or we squeeze in too much, or we do things that block our body instead of releasing it. So what we're going to try to do here is create the rotation in a relatively flexed position, not like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but still in a relatively flexed position, and get deeper, slightly deeper into it through extending the spine. So we're going to try that. Now, the heels make it more difficult because they make us throw, as we saw before, our hips out of position. So try to manage, especially when you are creating that turn, that pivot, not to let the hips travel too far forward or fall too far back and pull your spine out of position. You might actually end up hurting your back, so you need to be very careful with that. So let's see that, so you can get to practice. Here we go. All right. First, we rotate. And then we extend. So as you can see here, I'm breaking the two ochos apart as if there are two separate steps. I am creating the rotation, then the extension to get a little bit deeper into that and connect with my partner a little bit better. Then you do your step and then you do your pivot. So try in the beginning to break it down in those even parts, spending equal amount of time and equal amount of focus on each part. You do the same thing for back ochos. We'll do the same thing for back ochos, and then we'll just put in the flow, going from one ocho to the next, forward and back. Notice here two things, that when there is a difference in the spine position, when you're actually creating the pivot and when you are extending into the step. You want to make your body participate into that, not to let the legs do all the work. Your body works a lot better if one part of it is leading the movement and other parts are supporting the movement. So it doesn't work all that well when we just isolate the movement in one specific spot of the body. So try, it will be more internal, it's not going to be that obvious. I hope you'll be able to see it in the video that the spine changes a little bit, curves a little bit when you're doing the pivot, and extends when you're extending into that step to allow for the legs to reach back or forward into the step, and then allow for the spine to create the rotation when you're actually doing the pivot. So try to put the body into the game so you will be able to smoothen out the ochos a little bit and have a better understanding of where your weight is on the heels, because that's the important part. Usually what happens when we put ourselves on the heels is that we really stress the legs, close up the hips, tighten the core, strengthening the back, all that, just keep ourselves standing over the heels. And we're just making things worse. So allow the movement to transfer through your body, mostly through the bone structure, not so much on the outside, you know. So I know it's summer and maybe we don't want to stay too serious with all this, but get into it in a more united whole body way. And don't forget to have fun.